As FFA members, we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this meeting duly open. At this time, Laurie Farmer will give a progress report on his farm management program.
All of you fellows know the condition that our farm and home was in a few months ago. And most of you have seen our home and know what our family's done through the farm management program that Tim and I worked out in agriculture class. I guess it all started when Rosa and I were talking. I was painting as usual. You ever noticed so many shades of green?
I like this color a lot better than I do green. Ain't it pretty?
No, Mom doesn't want you to paint your fingernails.
And Dad doesn't want you painting those either. By the way, it'll soon be time for him to come in. Want me to help you put that stuff away? I wish he wasn't so crazy all the time. Sometimes I want to run away and never come back. I hate the old farm.
Never meet a problem by running away. I don't hate the farm, but I do dislike the inconveniences.
Sure is powerful hot in that there kitchen. I declare to goodness I can't bake a cake in that stove no more. Laura, why don't you put a brick under that back leg where the floor's beginning to rot away?
Sure, Mom.
I told you time and again not to be painting up your fingernails with that red stuff. Oh, why, Mom? All the other girls. Makes no difference what the other girls do, young lady. I won't have no 14-year-old daughter of mine painting herself up to look like a hussy. I declare to goodness you young ones wear the life right out of them. Laura, you put that junk away before your pa gets here. Rhoda, you go get me a pan of potatoes. And you, Laura, you ought to be out in the barn helping your pa. What with Tim never getting home till dark no more, and Joe away at college, and you're wasting your time every evening a painting instead of helping your pa. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
But the light's good only such a little while. I wish I had a studio, or a room with more light.
Well, I declare.
You like it, don't you, Mom?
Goodness knows, why don't you paint me something pretty instead of that old tumble-down shack? Why, that shingle there looks like it's about to fall off.
Well, thanks, Mom. You're a better judge than I figured.
Why don't you paint me a picture of the dogwood? The pale blooms against the new green springtime. Now that would be something.
You like the dogwood, don't you, Mom?
It's my favorite, I reckon. It seems to stand for all the things I ever wanted. Somehow, it's a lifetime of dreams in bloom. We always called it the bride of the forest.
You feel the beauty of it just like I do, don't you, Mom?
You get out here and get me a bucket of water before I skin you alive.
Okay, Mom.
Well, Grandma Moses herself. I was just admiring Laura's painting. It's real good, ain't it? Miss Rogers says he has real natural-born talent. She wants him doing her pictures, the art show at the State Fair. Look, Mom, here comes Dad looking better than a wet hen. Wonder what's broke down this time. Hurry up now, Rosie, and get them potatoes peeled. Do I have to peel all of them, Mom? Yes, all of them.
Do what your ma says, Rosa. What's that smells like bananas? Rosa, you been painting your fingernails again?
Now, Adrian.
Painted this young picture.
Ain't it pretty, Pa? And to think that Laura done it all by herself. Miss Rogers says he's got real talent. She thinks maybe he ought to go to art school like Chicago or someplace.
Art school? What does the farmer need of art school? He couldn't even paint the barn. And you and Lawrence just as well as get it out in your head about any more schooling. Where this family gets all this highfalutin ideas is beyond me. Now take Joe for instance. As soon as he gets out an arm and is big enough to help on the farm, he's got to go off to college and study about agriculture. On government money, too. Ain't got no pride.
Contrary, Dad. Joe earned that money just as other boys did. And the government has never invested its money in a better way. Boys like Joe, who had never finished high school, much less college, had these wonderful opportunities.
Opportunities for what? To stand in educated breadline? He won't be worth a dime on the farm, and neither will you, a mooning and a drooling over a picture painting. Where'd you get that stuff?
I bought it.
And what did you use for money?
I helped him some with the egg money I saved up, Pa.
And I sold dogwood on the street for the rest of it.
Now, I've heard everything. A boy of mine is selling dogwood on the street. I think you'd be ashamed to.
Ashamed? Dad, you should have seen how proud the people were to get the beautiful bouquet. I've done nothing to be ashamed of.
Steph throws good money away on trash. You're just like your ma used to be.
It was his money, Aaron, and I ain't aiming for you to smother his soul like you have mine. We ain't able to give our young'uns much in the way of beauty and education. But if Larry wants to paint, he's a-gonna paint. And you and nobody else ain't gonna stop him. And if he wants to go to art school, he's a-going, if I can manage it anyway. Goodness knows a young'un's got a right to live his own life and get all the learning he can.
You call that learning? The painting a picture of Andy's old cabin?
Well, thanks, Dad. That's the best compliment you could have given me. You recognized it right off.
Well, I ought to. I've been seeing it all my life. Same busted shutter. Same drag to the old door. Same loose shingle looking as if a good breeze might blow it away. Yet it's just a mite different, too. If you hadn't known it was Andy's old cabin, you might think it was any one of 100 you'd seen somewhere sometime.
Right, Dad. That's what I wanted people to see in my picture. Oh, Mom, I did catch the true spirit of it, didn't I?
Yes, God. Pa, you do like it, don't you?
Guess we'd better get the night work done, Lawrence, unless you think that milking the cows is beneath you, or might smother the soul of you like your mom.
I don't mind the unkind remarks you make about me, Pa, 'cause I know you better than anybody else. But I ain't even gonna have you making out like you're something to the young'uns if you ain't. And Miss Rogers says that Larry can win what do you call it? So he can go to college.
A scholarship, Dad. But don't count too much on that, Mom. There's a lot of competition, and I'm not so good.
Who says you ain't?
Do you want me to put that pot of beans on the stove? Yes, Rosie, and when you finish peeling them potatoes, you run out to the smokehouse and bring me a slab of salt pork. Yes, Mom?
Do as your ma says, Rosa, and be glad you got salt pork and corn, pone, and beans to eat. More than some folks has got.
I hate salt pork, and I hate corn pone, and I hate beans.
Come on, Lawrence. Let's get the night work done.
All right, Dad.
Aaron, why don't we try out some of the new ideas of farming this year? Maybe it'd pay off.
Like what, for instance?
Let's don't plant peanuts on that south field this year. Let's put corn there and plant the peanuts.
Corn? On my peanut land? Why, woman, I've dug peanuts off that land ever since my pa and me cleared it off.
That's what I mean, Aaron. You've bled the land dry. Let's try crop rotation this year. I heard an agent on the radio telling about free pamphlets on soil conservation and soil erosion.
All written by some city slicker who never spent a day on the farm in his life, much less a day in the field.
He described ways that you plow and cultivate a field to keep it from washing away. It seems that you have to
Have a lots of newfangled machinery which I ain't got and ain't got no way of getting. Guess we better check and see how the kids come along with the night work.
What have you been doing, Lawrence?
Our Dad's been griping so much about my painting, so I thought I'd just take it out to the barn.
Where's Tim and Mary Ann? Why don't they never get home from school till dark anymore?
Marian's playing for the operetta, Dad. She'll be home after supper with the game.
What game?
Young folks having a singing out here tonight again, are you?
Another night without no sleep.
But, Dad, I thought you liked to have us at home.
We do, son. And I'm real proud of Mary Ann and her piano playing. I don't reckon she's ever been sorry she spent the money from her prize cash on piano lessons, and we ain't neither.
I still say she ought to invested that money in more stock.
But, Dad, do you know what this means to Marian?
Claire, I don't know what we're coming to. Music, art, college, woman club, 4-H, FFA, REA. Next thing you know, we'll be on WPA.
Progress is a sign of times. There's a right and a wrong way to do everything, even farming. Now take the soil conservation program in our county, for instance. It's worth $1 million to the farmers who will use its information. Dad, why don't you contact the vocational agriculture teacher and let him set up a plan for the coming year?
Talking cheap, you young and hurry up with your supper so your ma won't be in the kitchen with the dishes all night.
Say, Mom, did you know Joe used to date our home ec teacher? Miss Rogers? Uh-huh. I think it was pretty serious, too. Only something happened. Well, about us, I think. About us? What about us, Rosie? Well, I don't know, and I hate to say, but I heard her and Mr. Harding, the vocational agriculture teacher, talking the other day, and she said, how could Joe be ashamed of a fine family like the farmer? Doesn't he know that even an unattractive farmhouse can sometimes make a home? Mom, is that why Joe left home? Well, I guess that was part of it, Rosie. I've been ashamed of our home, too. Oh, I'm not ashamed of you and Dad, only sometimes I wish you had nicer clothes to wear in time to fix your hair pretty. But I'm glad Daddy's on it. That's right, Rosie. He ain't never took nothing from nobody. When they say conserve the topsoil? Well, I don't know. Why don't you ask your pa? And why does it Dad want Jimmy Lawrence to belong to the FFA and me to the FHA? I think Mr. Hardin has the best course of vocational ag in this state. He's honorary state farmer, you know. Well, have you young'uns ever stopped to explain these things to your pa? You know he don't have time to read no more. He always sits down with the paper and goes to sleep. Your pa works hard, Rosie. I don't guess his eyes are as young as they used to be. And we don't have no good lights to these days. Honey, run and see about that pie we're baking for Sunday dinner. We ain't give our young'uns much, Lord, in a material way, I reckon. And somehow along the way, seems like I've lost sight of gentleness and love and prayer. But I never thought I'd live to see the day, Lord, when one of my young'uns would be ashamed of me. I reckon maybe we could have tried harder, but somehow we just always been afraid to launch out into deeds, as they say. And if you've lost confidence in God, you ain't gonna trust folks much. But I'm a-fixin' to put my trust in you, Lord, and I'm gonna teach my young'uns to do the same.
Better soak this in hot water. It's beginning to swell.
Were you in an accident?
And I didn't have an accident. That's all you and the old man ever think about. Why don't we move in town and live like other people?
The farmer, Tim, he don't know nothing but the saw.
Well, he could learn, couldn't he?
Why, we'd starve to death while he was alive.
If we got to starve, what difference does it make where we live? But you can mark this down. The Timothy farmer ain't staying on any old farm. This one or any other. Breaking his back, never having anything to show for it but a broken heart, a lot of run-down machinery, and a busted pocketbook. You know what I mean? You and the old man just stagnant out here. Never go anywhere. Never see anything. Never know anything. Mom, you've got 5 getting place on the football field. It's a fight every inch of the way. And you don't start fighting till you carry the ball across the goal line for a touchdown. And the tougher the line, the harder you fight. Now, do you know any more you did? I don't know why I waste my time out here trying to explain things to you and the old man.
Timothy Farmer, it's high time me and you had an understanding. We ain't as rich as we ought to be. Maybe we ain't even done as well as we ought to. But we've been honest in what we do have. Your pa ain't the progressive type, mainly 'cause he don't know how. And he's afraid to try something he don't know nothing about. Young man, you've had a home. True, it ain't so pretty, I reckon. But you was welcome and we've loved you, though maybe we ain't always sure. But as long as there's food on the table, you're welcome to pull up a chair. But you'll be a-doing it in the proper respect. Do you hear me?
Who says I have to stay here? If you're the old man...
And you'll be addressing your father with proper respect, as is befitting a boy from a Christian home. And I'll take no sass from you. As long as you live under this roof, you'll keep a civil tongue in your head. Oh, I'll slap you so hard you think the whole team hits you. And I don't care if you get so tall, I have to stand on a chair to reach you. And you're 40 years old, mind you. I'll take no sass from you.
I'm sorry, Mother. I apologize.
I'm real proud you made the team, John. Real proud. Your pa'll be proud, too. So maybe he won't say so right off. Did you make the first team?
Yeah. Sure, I made the first team.
Oh, I am proud of you, Kenny. Real proud.
The coach told me today, if I keep up the way I'm going now, he thinks maybe he can get me a scholarship to state next year. Think of it, Mom. Perhaps I can go to college after all, like Joe.
Tim!
Have to get that fence fixed this week, even if it means the boys have to stay out of school. Lost a fine show just.
How's that, Aiden?
Ran out in front of a car, couldn't miss it.
Was it one of them Piney Woods Rivers?
No, one of the Poland China brothers.
Oh, might have knowed it. I guess you're just going to have to keep the young'uns out of school, fix that fence. It won't wait till Saturday and don't look like it will.
Guess we can get at it tomorrow. I got the wire when they catch eggs in town. Meant to do that last Saturday.
Pa, do you reckon me and you could stretch that fence?
Of course not.
Help him!
I hate to have you keep Tim out of school right now. Because, well, Pa, he made the first string.
What?
Football, Larry, he made the first team. Coach thinks maybe he can earn a scholarship at state next year.
More education. I swear, Martha, you ain't raised me near a man for a son. Let's not make a man out in the fall.
Hey, I'm sorry, the barn's on fire. Hey, the barn's on fire! Tim and Laurie are still in there. Tim, Laurie, my boys.
Get the water!
At least, Daddy, Laurie's all right, and Tim's going to get well. You just wait and see.
Well now, folks, Tim isn't any worse today. Isn't any better either.
Will he lose his legs, Doc?
That's hard to say, Aaron. I hope not. That's why I'm sending him to the hospital today. We have the infection checked in his right leg, but his left one isn't doing well at all.
Will he ever walk again?
I don't know that either, Aaron. I hope so, but it depends on Tim a lot. Whether he has the constitution or the desire to help himself.
Then he ain't a-doing all right, is it, Doc?
We're going to have to do a lot more skin grafting. The last 3 grafts haven't been successful. The last one slipped away only this morning. We'll scrape the bone again and hope for the best. It's going to take a lot of patience, courage, and lots of someone's skin to graft on that leg. And a long, long time before we know the outcome.
Dr. Wade?
You must take the skin graft from me, Dr. Wade. Tim was burned trying to save me from that fire. That's why I've got to do everything I can to make him well again. You've got to let me.
You're doing all that's possible right now, son. You'll all probably have an opportunity to help before Tim as well. We'll need skin graft, blood plasma, and lots of moral support. Tim's attitude's against him more than anything else. He's not even trying to live. That's where I'm going to depend a lot on you, son.
Driver Ting's meals. Why not let me take Tim's place?
You take Tim's place? Bah, you know your ma needs you with the canning, cooking, and waiting on Tim when he gets back. I just have to hire somebody.
Dad, we could get Joe.
Not Joe. We ain't got no time to entertain a college man and no government money to hand out for him to waste.
Please, Daddy, don't hate Joe and Larry and Marianne and Mom and me for what's happened to Tim.
Tim, the only man in the whole caboose, unless not make a man out in Paul.
Oh, Dad.
Rosa, cut out your belly.
Before we can bring Tim home back away.
Not until we figured out something for him to want to come home for us. That old fighting spirit had kept him on the first string of that football team. Lauren, have you ever heard him speak of some special interest, such as stamp collection?
I've got it.
What, Larry?
Radio and public speaking. Don't you remember last year you mentioned about entering the contest?
I thought it was only because he wanted to part in that play Doc was in. When's the FFA public speaking contest, Larry?
The chapter contest in January.
This is October. That'll give him plenty of time.
Well, how about quartet fellas here? Couldn't they do something instead again?
Music, that's a wonderful idea, Rosa. They'll need an announcer for that contest, too. Tim can be that man. Now to lay some groundwork. He's kept up his studies, of course.
No, Dr. Wade, and neither have I.
Here, we can't have that.
It can't be helped. Dad needs to be on the farm now.
I told you before, Lawrence, you ought to be in school. I can get along somehow.
I believe you're right, Aaron. You could set up a well-planned program and manage, I'm sure.
Dad, would you be willing to have Tim and me set up a program? A farm planning program?
A farm management program. Hey, Aaron, there's the answer to it.
Now, Doc, you and me's been friends a long time, and I ain't told you how to handle their kids.
It's a wonderful plan, Dad. We'll all profit from the central management thing.
But how about all those weeks that Tim will be laid up in the hospital, Dr. Wade?
Yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that. How long do you think you'll be up there, Doctor?
Depends on how you respond to treatment. If Tim wants to get well and wants it bad enough, he can make the drink.
I can't imagine anyone, least of all Tim, not wanting to live. Yet I guess there's not much here to live for. But honest, Doc.
Please, Daddy, don't cry. We all love you so much you want to help us.
Do you young'uns think you can succeed where your old man has failed?
Aaron, look up, man. Look at Laurie. Rosalind. Marianne and Joe, not to mention the twins and Tim, bless his heart. Look at them and dare tell me or any man that you've done a favor in life. If you admit defeat, what have you to lose to let Tim and Larry take over?
He's right, Aaron. We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. If it'll help to make Tim get well, even if we do lose the farm and save Tim, I'll be willing to make the exchange, won't you?
You're right. You're all right. Mark, here are the keys to the truck. One for you and one for me. After supper, Martha, you bring down all them books and papers. We're going to have a real family discussion. From now on, we're going to pull together and share what's made.
Your speech sounds good, Tim.
I believe that.
No, Tim, never start like that. It sure starts the island's coffin. It is also a display of nervousness. If they're probably introduced, just in time.
Dad?
Of course, why not?
Sure, why not? When I walk out from my seat, up the steps and across the stage.
I believe you'll do it, Tim.
I told you, Tim, that was not a good place for a brooder.
How many finally drowned, Paul?
Oh, I don't know. Looks like 250 or 300 anyway.
I put those beetles to the stove. Do you think they'll live?
Well, a few more matter too much. They might.
Oh, shucks, Pauline. Quit the sniffing. It's only chickens, ain't it?
Oh, you don't care about anything, Papa. You're a beast.
And you're a 50-old girl.
Let's see. What can I call this paper on pasture grass? Timothy seed? Timothy hay? No good. Topsoil? Not bad. Fields of Timothy. Waves of grain.
Cecil, are you going to enter a camping show?
Yes, I'm going to enter one. Mr. Harden will be back to see it on one of his project visits.
Miss Rogers, will you tell me something?
If I can, Tim.
Are you, do you, or what I mean is, this is without a doubt one of the busiest classrooms I've been in. How about it, Tim? You ready for that math test? Test?
English test going to do extra stuff tonight.
Not afraid of Chief?
You two? No, Tim. Send the English test in by Marion tomorrow. And spend some more time on that speech. Contest is just around the corner.
Tim will take state in June and win in tri-state.
That means the Triton National, doesn't it?
Regional, then national in Kansas City during the FFA convention. First place, $500. I would settle for even third, fourth place. But sure, I don't even get to carry the ball, much less make a touchdown.
I'll be rooting for you, Tim.
If I could just walk out in the yard, or up my lake where it's clean and peaceful, I hope to get away from here, make something of my life.
Oh, please, Tim. You...
Tim, old boy, it's not the change of address you need. It's the change of attitude, perhaps. No matter where you go, Timothy Farmer goes right along, you know. That guy, He sure is a no-good rascal. Careful, son. You're talking about the guy you love. Remember? But kidding aside, Tim, Dr. Wade tells me you're doing so well. And I wonder if you realize how much your father has come to depend on your decisions.
Dad, depend upon me? Don't make me laugh.
It's true. Your farm management program is beginning to show results.
All in the red, I'm afraid. Take today's for instance. We lost 200 or 300 chicks. I'm beginning to see where Dad gets his beaten attitude. No man can fight the elements of nature and win.
The idea is not to fight, but rather to plan and build with them in mind. Ensure your crops. Learn from experience. Study the weather maps from the daily papers and be ahead of the game. Now, for example, the loss today might have been less if the brewer had done a bit more elevated.
I guess you're right. I followed your suggestion. I've been studying topsoil. As you said, it's so important that we consider the few inches of really valuable soil, the soil that feeds us. You're familiar with last day's installations of crops and clover, of course.
Yeah.
Joe sent these seeds. He suggested we sow that combination of pasture grass on about 10 acres down the lake.
This would make wonderful beef for market, and one of the finest pastures for dairy cattle in the world. And then, too, there's the income from the seed crop. And remember, Tim, if you win the contest, the Seed Farm Foundation will furnish some of the prize money.
You know, Mr. Hardy, things might work out all right after all.
I want to insure it for $50.
Mighty small package for $50.
It's one of my pictures. I'm trying to sell them. That's the 8th one I've sent.
Will the meeting please come to order? Since this is our last meeting before I leave for one spring, I would like to remind you that Laurie will be left in charge. At the next meeting, he will have someone here to discuss electric service with you. Although Dad is not able to work with us anymore, we will still continue our farm management plan. Since our last family meeting, a survey has been made of our electric lines for the Covington Electric Cooperative and the Wiregrass Electric Cooperative. We have a representative from each of these cooperatives present here tonight to discuss it with us. Mr. Hill is from the Covington Electric Cooperative, and Mr. Woodham is the representative from the Wiregrass Electric Cooperative. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Hill.
Folks, we're happy to meet with you tonight to talk about electric service to your farm. You know, most of your neighbors have electricity already, either from our co-op or from the Wiregrass co-op.
We're sure glad to have you both here. But we're not going to have electricity from one co-op on one side of the house and from another co-op on the other side of the house, are we?
Oh, no, it's not like that at all.
You see, Miss Farmer, the only reason that your neighbors have electricity today is because they have cooperated and worked together just like you're doing in your family conference here tonight.
Just a few years ago, farmers could not get electric service at all. Then in 1936, by an act of Congress, the Rural Electrification Administration was organized, making money available for such cooperatives as the Covington and the Wiregrass. The people in this area organized these two cooperatives, and that's why you and your neighbor can receive good electric service today.
But getting back to Ms. Farmer's question about which co-op would serve you, we've checked and we find that our lines are a little nearer, so it would be more economical for us to build in the service.
Even though the Covington cooperative will serve you directly, we are interested in the growth and development of our section, and we want to help see that everyone gets electricity. We believe what will help the farmer help everybody.
How soon can we get electricity?
The first step is to wire your house, then notify us and we will send a crew of men and inspect the wiring and build a line to your house.
Gee, that sounds wonderful. Let's take it.
Now, wait a minute. Let's find out more about what this thing costs.
Farmer, your only original cost is the cost of wiring your house, your appliances, a $5 membership fee which is paid to the co-op, which can be refunded if you move away or discontinue service, and a $2 wiring inspection fee, which is also paid to the co-op.
But won't the bills every month be a whole lot?
We don't think so, Mr. Farmer. In fact, you can cook and wash and iron and refrigerate food and do the many other things that electricity can do a lot cheaper than you can do them by hand, especially when you stop and consider the time and labor involved in cutting stove wood and drawing up water by hand and heating irons and doing the many other things that you do around your home.
Well, ain't there a big bill even if you don't use nothing?
For a minimum bill of only $1 a month. However, as you use more current, the rate you pay becomes less and less.
Okay, I believe we'll have all the facts. Do I hear a motion that we join the Covington Electric Co-op?
That motion?
All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye. I've got a sister over here near Sampson who got help on how to buy appliances and how to use them. And I don't know nothing about it.
Well, your home ec teacher can help you, and we'll be glad to help you any way we can. However, right now, we don't have a home economist.
Well, Mr. Hill, we have a home economist, and she'll have work in this area, and at that time, we'll be glad for her to come by and help Mrs. Farmer with her electrical appliances. In fact, I believe we can make arrangements for her to be here the day the current is turned on. And Mrs. Farmer, she'll be glad for you to attend demonstrations which she holds in the communities near here.
That nice. Come on, Paul.
It certainly goes fast when we divide the work.
You did a wonderful job on the paint, Laurie.
Well, since we're flattering each other, let's admit that we did do a pretty good job.
Dad, you turn on the light. Mr. Hill. Mr. Woodham. And things Miss Blair's been telling me about electricity. I didn't know the co-op had folks to tell you things like that. Just wait till you see them electric biscuits in the morning, Carl.
So you see, fellas, that's the way we did it. Oh, by the way, I want to invite all of you out to our barbecue next Thursday.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for occasions of this kind when we can come together and be together and express to each other our feelings about different matters. We thank Thee, our Father, for the sweet association of our friends from time to time. Bless us, our Father, as we partake of this food. Consecrate us to Thy service, for we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Miss Farmer, when is Tim coming home?
He's going to try to get in today. Laurie's gone into town to meet him at the bus station. I do hope they'll get here in time for the barbecue.
Tim is doing a splendid job as farm manager.
Yes, wonderful.
Is he walking yet?
I really don't know. But if wanting to walk his help, he'll walk. His attitude's been much better since Dad had his heart attack.
What's up? A party just for me?
Try Tim's walking.
A bit slow yet.
You look wonderful, Tim. Shall I tell him about us, Charles?
And ask for his blessings? Engaged, huh? Well, I'm glad for you both. Here, Laurie. Here's a letter for you. My agent of yours.
The farmer. Enclosed, you'll find a check. Your painting, Bride of the Forest, was sold for $300. Did you hear that, Tim?
I sure did. I knew you could do it, Laurie.
Here, Tim. Down payment on the debt I owe you.
Don't talk like a fool, Laurie. You don't owe me anything.
Estelle.
Joe, I got your letter this morning.
Yes, Estelle, I graduated. Now I can really do something. Something that will...
Let him forgive you, Joe?
I guess you're right, Estelle. I've learned many a bitter lesson since the day I left home. And then you. You know there's never been anyone else for me but you. Will you forgive me for what I've done?
I forgave you long ago, Joe. You see, love is like that.
I have a job with the PMA office this summer, measuring land and...
Yes, go on.
And we'll be married right away. That is, if you'll have me.
A girl likes to ask about these things, Joe.
Okay. Will you, will you?
I will, Joe.
Joe,
Yes, I know. We have to go out to the house. Well, I guess I'm ready.
don't be so bitter about your home, Joe.
Believe me, Estelle, before we're married, I intend to put that farm in order and repair that old house.
There might be less to do than you realize, Joe.
No, since Dad's heart attack, I know how badly he and the boys must have let the place run down.
All right, Joe. We'll see.
Why, Estelle, it's wonderful. It doesn't look like the same place. Tell me, how did they do it?
By working together, Joe, and by being a wonderful family. Joe, you're home.
Dad, I want to ask your forgiveness and apologize to all of you. I know I've been a heel and deserve anything you want to say, but I have missed you.
Welcome home, son.
You know, I thought I'd come to the wrong place. Everything's so changed.
Come on in, Jordan, and look at all the other miracles that took place. You know the kids have did more in just 4 short years than your ma and me have done in 27.
They did a lot, Aaron. Tim with his management program and all the rest of them working together. It just had to work.
Yes, Mom. It's from that kind of cooperation that our fathers built this country. So dedicated to freedom that men would rather die than give ground to false ideals. America must depend on such families as...
Such as our own to weave the fabric of freedom, woven in love and work, and the unity of minds, hearts, and hands. The fabric of freedom, may there never be a blemish on its shining link, woven by hands like these.